All right, number 3 in the cold waters, the North Atlantic. Load. It's been a while, so I don't even remember what we're supposed to be doing out here. Brief. Review orders. Intelligence has discerned a pattern of movements of enemy at sea replenishment tankers and tenders. Small enemy force, including 1 or 2 of these ships, is expected to sail from Arkhangelsk shortly for a rendezvous somewhere in the Greenland Sea. You are ordered to find and sink this group. Alright, we also may get a shot at the warships there. Greenland Sea is up there. And they're supposed to be coming out of Arkhangelsk. That could be them. I don't really want to intercept them in the shallow waters. Belgium fell. Over here is really shallow. I want to try and stay in the deeper waters. There we go. 10 knots, 150 feet. Very strong surface duct, moderate thermal layer. Let's close to 20,000 feet. We do have a Moss loaded. I want to set all of these to surface running. There we go. And then we will go to silent running.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Alright, first, what's the conditions?
Con sonar, new contact bearing 172, designated Sierra 2.
Only 77
Con sonar, new contact bearing
decibels in the
159,
water.
designated Sierra 3.
Alright.
Con sonar, new contact bearing 157, designated Sierra 4.
That looks like a Cashin.
Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as escort.
Alright, that is not a Cashin. That is not a Cashin. So what is Sierra 3? What do we got? Communist MS. That is
Con sonar,
ship.
Sierra 3 is classified as merchant.
Alright. Another Cashin.
Con sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as escort.
That is a double line right here. Oh, that's a humpback.
Con sonar, Sierra 4 is classified as biologic.
This could be our target here. I'm going to change course, go straight.
Come left to
the east.
090, helm I.
We do not want to sink the humpback. just above the layer there. I'm going to stay there so I can let my towed array do its thing. Towed array is a long cable that is streamed out behind the submarine, and it's covered in, well, basically it's covered in microphones. It's part of the sonar suite aboard the ship. You get the better reception and better identification off of it.
Con, helm, steady course.
But you want to be at like a 90-degree angle. That Cashin is at 5 on its active sonar. Okay, I think... Where's that layer? 198 feet. Let's go down to 250.
Make depth 250 feet, dive high.
Once we drop below the layer, you'll see these numbers change. So will ours. The thermal layer refracts sound or reflects sound. Not all of it, but it makes it more difficult to hear. See, it went down to -11. Our active went down to -12. This will make our solution down here harder and take longer, but it will also help keep them from finding us so easily. I would like to get that up a little higher. The Cashin.
Con, dive at 250 feet, dive high.
It talks about its passive. It doesn't talk about active sonar. These are passive sensors. All they do is listen. But I'm sure the Cashin has active sonar. It's just not listed. This is an older medium frequency sonar set that equipped many surface ships before the introduction of bullnose. I wonder if it's also included in this, the active, but they're not pinging. Neither one of these are pinging. RBU 6, there it goes, that was a ping. Well, the communist is getting on up. It's 65%, but we're not really picking up the
Con
Cashin.
sonar lost contact. Sierra, Boar, last bearing 162. Contact faded.
Alright, not worried about losing contact with the humpback. Other than I want to make sure one of my torpedoes doesn't lock onto it. Alright, how far away is he? Roughly 13,000 yards, okay.
Shoot 2-3. Aye, sir.
Fire a torpedo. What is the communists' top speed? Oh, they must have heard that. "18 knots. It's pretty fast for such a big ship. We have missile launch.
Con sonar. Sierra 3 is classified as merchant.
I got it wrong. It's Chilican. Okay, these are carried by Tomahawk type missiles and deployed. Now they're shorter ranged. Is he going into a circle pattern? Yeah. They know we're out here. They know the basic bearing that we're on, but they don't know the range. The Chilekan is starting to run, and I think it's got 16 knots. Yeah, 16 knot top speed, so it's not as fast. What I'm doing is sending a torpedo out this way and bringing it down, because the enemy down here, the Kashin, will, once it detects it, probably launch a torpedo in the direction it detects our torpedo. And I want it coming up this way and maybe this way, so it's not coming straight at me. Alright, now that one's a little more concerning. It's following a search pattern along this line right here. These are just doing circles, and they're kind of area denial. We don't dare go near them because each one of these red lines you see is active weapon sonar. It will lock onto you with that. Alright, let's turn it in. It's going to take us a while. The torpedo was traveling, I don't know, 35, 40 miles an hour. It's in waypoint mode. It's just traveling. Once it hits this marker, it will go active, run to the surface, and go to full speed. And this is the endurance of the torpedo, how long it has to run. And that will go down once it goes active. That will cut basically in half. I don't think this torpedo's much of a concern. Now you see, these torpedoes don't last long. They have very short lifespan in range. They can't be as big as a torpedo like this, and probably this one, because they have to be carried by missiles, helicopters, and so on. This one will go on for a while. Alright, what I'm going to do is go ahead and activate and see if we can't find that Kashin. Looks like he's moving toward us, and the Chilekan is running. Now we're getting a better bead on him. What is our solution now? 77%. We're getting a pretty good read on him. He's starting
Con
to run.
sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as escort.
I misidentified that. That's a Kravac. Now you can see that a lot of time was taken from the torpedo when I activated it, because now it's screaming through the ocean at 45, I think it is, knots. which is 15% faster than a statute mile an hour, what you use in your car. This is a nautical mile. That's what knots stands for. Kravak's running full speed, 30 knots. I don't know if we've got a good enough solution on him to see him yet or not. Yes, we do. Can we see our torpedo coming in? Yes, we do, right there. Even though he's pinging, he's not really hearing much. At full speed, he's making too much noise. The noise of his engines and the ship moving through the water is deafening his sensor suite. I'm not too worried about the Chilicon running. It can only go 16 knots. And I'll probably just lob a missile after it.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Alright. I don't even know if he could hear this torpedo coming through.
Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as escort.
Yeah, I misidentified both of them. They're both Kravaks. Yeah, that torpedo.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing
All right.
169.
Do a little manual, take control of it with the wire.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
These torpedoes are wire guided here. You can take manual control. If this goes blank, that means that the wire broke and you have no further control. Let's go live sonar. What that does is send the torpedo's information, sonar information.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last
Back
bearing
along the wire to
172.
your
Contact
boat.
breaking up.
Okay, that's one of them. Go ahead and reload that tube.
Shoot tube 1, aye sir.
And this one, we don't have a good enough sensor lock on it to know just where it's at. But he seems to be wanting to come back in and have a little talk with us about his buddy. He can't hear us because of his speed. He has no idea where we are for sure, but he just knows the general direction.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Back to 75%. Yeah, see, he won't render in until he's at 95%. We know where he's at, but that's all we know. We won't be able to see him until he's 95%.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 4, bearing 161.
Okay, I don't want him firing a torpedo in the direction of the whale. So we'll come up this way with it. That'll mean he'll fire toward us, but we should have time to deal with him before we have to dodge his torpedo if he fires one, which he's likely to when he gets detects that torpedo coming at him. He is quite likely to send a torpedo back in the direction of ours here. %, solution. I don't know what, I figured the Chilicon would just keep running. He's at full speed, still 16 knots. I would have expected him to just keep going in a straight line. He can't escape us. The Los Angeles class submarine has a, I believe it's 33 knot top speed. And of course we have missiles. So yeah, he's not getting away. The torpedoes are faster even in this mode when they're running slower. I think they run about 35 knots. Might be 30, I'm not sure. I am not military. Alright, I'm gonna activate that torpedo.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Yeah, see, he did fire torpedoes. And they are going in the direction of our
Con sonar,
torpedo.
noisemaker bearing 208.
Torpedo is not being fooled by the countermeasure. These are a concern. These are the two he launched are full-on torpedoes. They're not the airdrop type. So they have good range and good speed. They're long-lasting.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 213.
That one got our torpedo.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
I don't think he's going to get away with the next one. There it is. It's coming in.
Con sonar,
Boom.
noisemaker bearing 212.
Okay. Let's change course this
Come
way.
right to 137
Reload
Helm
that
High.
tube. No, we don't want to reload that tube with that. We want to reload the tube with that. And dive. Go deep.
Make depth 1000 feet. Dive high.
And let's come up to 15 knots.
Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering aye.
We'll probably lose the Chilicon.
Con sonar, lost contact. Sierra.
Con maneuvering. Making turns for
Yeah, we lost the
15
Chilicon.
knots.
We're making too much noise now.
Con helm. Steady course.
We should get down deep enough that neither of these torpedoes will detect us. And there goes the Kravac. This is cool, but stuff like this lifeboat and so on,
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
it should fall off the boat when it goes under. I mean, look at that severe angle. Of course, it's probably secured, so, well, maybe not. Go back to our submarine. Can we see his torpedoes anywhere? Yeah, there they are up top. There's one of them anyway. they're running shallow and we're down at 1,000 feet. Indicated right there.
Con, dive at 1,000 feet, dive I.
Alright. We got a missile loaded, but we can't fire at this depth. We have to come back up to above 200 feet or above. They won't fire from this low. But that's okay. Alright, we're safe from that one. We should be safe from this one. I'm gonna let them both get well past us. We lost this one because he's in our baffles. He's right behind us. When I sped up to 15 knots, the towed array was automatically retracted into the submarine. When I slow back down to, I think it's 10 knots or below, it will automatically stream back out. Alright, let's come up to
Make depth
periscope
4-5 feet, dive I.
I'm gonna come up to periscope depth. Pretty sure we don't have anything else to worry about. See, it popped out on the other side, left our baffles. We can hear it now. Again, a submarine can't hear anything directly behind it. That's why the Soviet subs would pull the maneuver, the Crazy Ivan. They will be running along and perhaps an American submarine is tracking them right behind them, and they will do a sudden turn to port or starboard, left or right, to where they can clear behind them. They can tell, you know, that way their sensors will pick up any trailing submarine or anything else back there. And part of the purpose of the towed array is to defeat that blind spot, to make it not a blind spot
Con
anymore.
sonar, we are cavitating.
Oh yeah.
Con sonar, regained contact on Sierra 3, bearing 175.
Yeah,
Make turns for 5 knots.
Con
Not really
sonar, no longer cavitating.
worried about cavitation. Yeah, there's the Chilicon still. How far away is it? 19,000 yards? 20,000 yards? Yeah. We are shallow enough now we could fire the missile, we could launch it. But I want to get a good read on it. I'm just going to go ahead and pop radar.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 5 knots.
That's why we were able to pick him back up, is we slowed down. Same with the Humpback. Okay, I think we're there. Let's raise
the ESM mast.
The ESM. Yeah, there's nothing up there that'll detect us. There'd be a red bar here, and what that's picking up is radar emissions. But there aren't any. We sank the
Lower
two
the
ships
ESCON.
with radar.
Dive at 4-5 feet, dive I.
Raise the radar mast.
Oh, we're not picking it up. Alright, let's
Make
surface
depth
the boat.
0 feet, dive I.
It's possible that this is far enough away that our radar just won't detect it. So we're going to surface the boat, raise the radar mast a few more feet, and nothing. Alright, lower the
Lower
radar.
the radar mast.
Set depth to 600 feet.
Make depth 600 feet. Dive high.
And just go to
Con
flank.
sonar, we are cavitating.
There's nothing out here to worry about the cavitation, so I really don't care.
Come right to 179 Helm I.
When a submarine is
Con
cavitating,
sonar, lost contact. Sierra 4, last bearing 155. Contact faded.
well, what I was saying is, when a submarine is cavitating, the blades are turning
Con
faster
helm, steady
than
course.
the water
Con
around
sonar,
it
lost
can,
contact. Sierra 3, last bearing
respond. In other words,
176. Contact
it's
faded.
creating a vacuum around the blades because the water can't move that fast. Until you reach a deeper depth, we'll stop cavitating once we get down deeper because the pressure will correct that. But when it's cavitating like that, when you're getting these
Con
areas,
sonar, no longer cavitating.
there you go. When you are getting these areas around the propeller that are vacuum, when the water slams back into that area, it creates a lot of noise, easily heard by everything with sonar. So generally, you don't want to do that.
Con, dive at 600 feet. Dive high.
It's the equivalent of playing hide and seek and constantly saying, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here. Yeah, you're going to lose. In this game, you're going to have a lot of torpedoes rain down on you, and
Con
also
maneuvering, making turns for
rocket launch
3 knots.
depth charges. They also have them. They're called hedgehogs. And those are nasty if they get your range. Oh man, they will wreck you in a hurry. If they've got your range and get your depth correct, those things will ruin your day real quick. Alright. We'll do a little time acceleration here. Get down on the back side of the humpback. Then we'll slow down and come back to the surface. We're doing more than twice the Chilican's top speed. Doing more, 1 knot more than twice. He can do 16 knots, we can do 33. So 1 knot faster. Okay. Let's slow back down.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering I.
And
Con sonar.
Con maneuvering.
Make depth 5 feet. Dive high.
and come back up to periscope depth. I'm leaving time acceleration on till we get back up there. Alright, let's raise the radar.
Raise the radar mast.
There he is. Let's go. There's the Chilican. There's our radar mast right there. Alright, we're going to launch the missile.
Con, dive at 5 feet. Dive high.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
And we'll lower the
Lower the radar mast.
And then we'll just follow the missile into impact, because I don't think the Chilokan has anything to yeah, it's got no defenses. It doesn't have anti-missile guns. And there it is. It activated and turned straight for the target. Oh, it didn't kill it. It did not kill it. Well, it is a big boat. It's 22,400 tons, so it may sink, but I'm going to hit it with another missile. Still chugging along. He's down to 10 knots though. Of course I hit him in the rear of the boat, so yeah, I imagine it damaged the engine room and stuff. The people on board are not having a good day. That's for sure. Load, load, load.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Let's switch back to our sub.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
There's the rocket engine that accelerates it up to speed. You can just see it in the distance. You can see the plume of smoke. I don't know if we'll be able to see the missile coming in. I've heard several people say you can hear the hissing noise the missile makes as it gets closer. May just be because I'm an old fart and have bad hearing. I've never heard it.
Master 3, last bearing 171. Contact breaking up.
Alright, well that takes care of them. Let's see, I'm pretty sure this is the mission. 2 Kravax and a Chilokan. Good to hear you intercepted and destroyed the enemy replenishment resources. Keep up the good work. Further orders to be transmitted on this downlink. New orders coming on this downlink soon. Got a medal. Navy Commendation Medal to Commander Richard Hertz, Commanding Officer USS Groton, SSN 694. All right. We got a medal. We got a news. Quiet seas. NATO warships and submarines have taken up several new strategic positions, including some around the Greenland Sea, in response to significantly reduced Soviet naval activity. Sources close to the Pentagon say the war is taking a heavy toll on enemy naval operations and that their supply lines continue to be heavily strained. Alright, intelligence has discerned a pattern of movements of enemy at sea replenishment tankers and tenders. We're going after more tankers and tenders. But that will be in the next one, everyone. Tune in, like if you did, subscribe if you would like to see more of this type of deal. And I'm going to put oh geez, I'm having a brain fart. Dementia's setting in already. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 up in the very near future, so kind of keep a watch out for that. I've played around with the game just enough to kind of learn the basic controls. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.